Welcome to SHOT Show TV. I'm David Lombardo, and our guest this afternoon are Zeke Stout, who is MGS Trade School and the former host of the Discovery Channel Master of Arms show.
Yes, sir.
And Tony Simon, who's founder of DiversityShoot.com. Tell us a little bit about DiversityShoot.com.
DiversityShoot.com is something that started in New Jersey in 2015 to reach out to all communities to introduce them to the Second Amendment advocacy, firearms owners, and firearms ownership. So it was to guide people into their journey of owning firearms. And if you don't own a gun and want to be introduced to a firearm, we do that. If you have some family members that are anti-gun or on the fence, bring them to my event and we'll introduce them to firearms in a safe, inclusive manner, answer any questions they have, and if they want to be argumentative, but in a respectful way, and ask serious questions like, well, why would anyone want to own AR-15? We can have that conversation and not turn it into a shouting match. So we've done that. We started a gun for hire range in Woodland Park every other month, and now we've grown to the point that we're in 4 ranges throughout New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and we host an event every 2 weeks. And now working with NSSF, hopefully, and the NRA ILA, we're going to be doing events across the country in 2023.
That's great. You know, the thing is, historically, the shooting community has been divided by race and sex and all kinds of different things, that the anti-gun people have intentionally done that. They've intentionally pitted one against the other. And the reality is we have far more in common than we don't.
Yep.
And people are beginning to now see that. The fastest growing segment in Chicago of shooters is African American inner city women.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's growing, and we have to recognize that, and we also have to bring people in. One of the problems I found with the Second Amendment and firearms ownership is there's a long distance between buying your first gun and the time frame of becoming an activist. So what we're doing, especially after 2020, is introducing people to firearms in a safe manner, and then introducing them to advocacy groups in the area at the same time. And also we have the Second is for Everyone podcast, and I was wanting to reach out to people across the country or whoever downloads it to start being an active member of the Second Amendment advocacy groups in their area. And it's worked out really well. We have a lot of listeners, and you can find us in your regular podcast app. But for this show, we need sponsors, and that's where Zeke comes in. He's my friend, but he runs a school, and he decided to be one of our sponsors for a show.
So I have a quick question. We both know Courtney Redmond in Chicago, who does just a great job. He's a good friend. Do we see this happening in a lot of cities now?
We see it growing. I mean, it really started in 2015 with different groups. Phil Smith, who you had on the show, he started his organization in 2015. Maj Toure started his organization, Black Guns Matter, 2015. We all started in February 2015. Diana Mueller started DC Project, 2015. Yep. It seems like Americans at one time got fed up, got enough, and said, I'm going to do something about this. And that was real grassroots advocacy, and that's what we're doing.
That's great. So, MGS. First of all, just tell us a little about MGS.
So MGS Trade School, it is a distance learning gunsmithing school. So what we do is we provide these students with the education and all the knowledge base, and then we send out hands-on projects. So in our advanced course, they get 7 hands-on projects and they get all the knowledge base. Advanced 2, which we've just launched, you get the 7 hands-on projects, and then at the end you get to choose from one of the platforms to build a platform or rifle of your choice, or a handgun. And you also get a pile of tools, because our motto is keeping the students first always, and we want the students to be able to graduate and have the tools they need to go into the workplace or start their own FFL, anything like that, to be a gunsmith. So,
and there really is a demand for gunsmiths.
Absolutely.
It's hard to find a gunsmith.
It's tough. I can count on one hand what 100-mile radius around me, how many good gunsmiths that I would trust with. And they're all retiring or passing away. So it's a field that is really advantageous if you want to get into it now.
So tell me, what relationship does a gunsmith have with what he's doing?
Oh, tons. I mean, anytime you have a range day, you're going to have guns that break down. So you're going to need somebody to help repair and fix or clean up or anything like that. Even custom guns. You know, gunsmithing, you want to learn to make the newest, best hotness out there, for lack of a better term. And gunsmithing is something that can help out with him showcasing new guns out there.
Well, one of the great things about gunsmithing is in a state like New Jersey, it has compliance issues, easy money. You have to remove the bayonet lug. You have to pin and weld the muzzle device. You have to pen the stock. So there's always something to do. The anti-gunners create a market for us, and we just have to use it.
Yeah.
And the fascinating thing about Tony's shoot, and one of the reasons it was a no-brainer for us to get involved, is you see this beautiful thing happening. Because like you said, the anti-people want us to be doing this.
Exactly.
Because as long as we're doing this as a society or as a group that's trying to push forward the Second Amendment advocacy, they're getting away with whatever they want.
Yep.
And they're getting their narrative out of we're all infighting. But if you come to these events like his, or even we've got a basketball game going on this weekend, or tonight, you start to see the beauty of that happening, where their narrative is not what's real.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
You can get a hold of me at diversityshoot.com. Tony at diversityshoot.com is my email. You can also find me on Instagram at Simon Says Train.
Okay, and if they want to get a hold of you?
With the school, it's MGS Trade School, or MGS.edu. Oh, sorry, I almost gave the wrong website. That would have gone to somebody else. But it's MGS.edu. With me, all of my social media is just Zeke, Z-E-K-E _Stout, S-T-O-U-T.
Great.
Yep.
Gentlemen, thank you for coming on.
Yep.
Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very
Glad
much.
to hear what you're doing. It's great.
Appreciate it.
It is. And for SHOT Show TV, I'm David Lombardo.